Hey there, Gemini Ascendant. This is your forecast. It's an ascendant forecast taking you from Monday, the 17th of November, right the way through to Sunday, the 23rd of November, 2025. Now, last week was kind of quiet astrologically. There was only really one notable aspect between planets, and that was Mercury retrograde in a conjunction with Mars. This week, however, there's loads of stuff. It's going to knock your socks off. This is, I think, one of the most revealing weeks ahead. It's one that we've been really waiting for. And I think, as the sun goes into Sagittarius on the 22nd, we're going to start to feel that our future is starting to speak to us. We're going to start to feel, I think, a little bit more in control of what's going on. So yeah, are you ready to move forwards? Because I think this is what this week is promising. So a couple of themes before we get cracking. First of all, we've got the new moon. That's one of the big notable things happening this week ahead. A new moon in Scorpio at 28 degrees. And on that day, we've also got Mercury Cazimi exactly in a conjunction with the new moon, which is really pretty special. It's a retrograde Cazimi. So I think we are absolutely kind of diving deep into our stories about ourselves and rewriting them in a whole new way, much more intensely than we've ever done before. This is really coming, I think, kind of chiseling down into the kind of history books of everything that's got stuck and every story that has really taken hold, but not necessarily taken hold for the right reasons. You're going to really sort of like dig down. And, I think, we're going to be going somewhere kind of unfiltered, more intuitive. It's about getting to your deep emotions, your forgotten fears, and really getting into those desires that maybe you've forgotten about as well. Now, I mentioned stories because where this is happening, the new moon is happening just in the tail end of your 6th house, which is our normal house, that the house in the birth chart that is really normal, really helps you kind of fit in with humanity. It's our day-to-day living. It's how we manage our health. It's full of rules and routines and things like that. There's a kind of real narrative about it. And where Uranus is in opposition to it, you'll see it in a second. I'll bring up the charts. But where Uranus is in opposition, it's in the 12th house, which is our place where we lose our stories. So we've got a bunch of planets in this place where we're really, following our own routines and our own stories about who we are versus this Uranus opposition where we're losing it all. There's just so much going on. Honestly, Gemini, there's just so much. So let's bring up the charts now. If you're new to this channel, by the way, my name's Louisa. Welcome to Feel Good Astrology. Hope you like it. When I get going, I always start by just saying thank you to everybody that supports my channel historically or weekly or monthly or right now in membership. Thank you so much. You really make a difference to my life. Thank you. So I've got 2 charts and you'll see this big red dot here. It's just sort of indicating where this new moon is. It's just below this descendant just there. And this is the chart from Sunday the 16th, where we left off from the previous forecast. And then where we leave it, the moon is in Capricorn just here. So the moon is moving from here right the way through this part of your chart. And I'm going to explain the movements of the moon as well. So what you'll see here actually is that Mercury is about to go back into the sign of Scorpio. So he's already been in there, but he went retrograde last week in the sign of Sagittarius, and now he's coming back into Scorpio. And then we've also got the sun that is in Scorpio and is going into Sagittarius. So you're going to see that they swap. They're like ships that pass in the night. And actually, the 20th is the day when this is happening. So this is the day when we've got the new moon involved. And so the moon from where we're starting is here, and they're all converging at this spot, the sun, the moon, and Mercury. It's very unusual to have all of that happen at the same day, at the same time. But what's even more unusual is we've got a really, really rare sextile between Neptune and Uranus. So these outer planets, they take such a long time to move just one sign, let alone all of the signs. And so it takes a long time for them to come into aspect. The last time these two were 60 degrees away from each other. I mean, there was one just in August, but when they come up in a series of 3 or 5. And so we've got 5 of these between now and 2027. This is the second one. But the last time we had a series of sextiles between these two planets was back in 1966 to 1968. So a really long time ago. So there's a really strong meaning about that as well. And like I say, that's happening on the day of the new moon and the Mercury Cazimi, this convergence here in your 6th house, to do with your dedication to the stories you've created for your life. So I just think this week is about smoothing the way for a really big turning point. Now, I'm going to lay it out as clearly as I can for you. I really think that on Monday the 17th, when the moon goes into the sign of Scorpio, this is right before the new moon. And so the moon is almost disappearing in the sky. It's so dark at night. There's not much illumination. It just feels like everything is dark. This is a time when we are quiet. We're more reserved. We're more imaginative. We're not seeking advice from people outside of ourselves. It's a time when we're on an inner journey. And, on the 17th as well, we've also got, we've got the moon coming in. So we'll have the moon, we'll have Venus, and we'll have the sun in the sign of Scorpio. And then on the 19th, we'll also have Mercury going into Scorpio. So we'll have Mercury, the sun, Venus, and the moon all in Scorpio. It's really, really personal, private, slightly secretive. The sign of Scorpio is so deep and hidden. I've got talking of Scorpio energy, I've got my son that's just crept in behind me.
And I'm also secretive.
You're also secretive. Do you want to say hello?
Hello.
Hello,
Bianca Astrology fans.
Oh, bless you. He's a YouTuber, isn't he? You can tell he's got that charm. Right, I need to just pause this and just
Open this.
Sure, I can. I'm always a mum. 1 second. Oh, he's so mega cute. That's my little soon-to-be 7-year-old. He's going to be 7 on the 17th, literally on this day that I was talking about, where the moon is going back into Scorpio. That's my little Scorpio. He's lovely. That's Solomon. I don't know where to start now because I'm feeling like my heart is really opened having seen him. So we've got the moon, we've got Venus, we've got the sun and Mercury retrograde all together in this part of the chart. Now, Scorpio is magnetic, it's magic. Like I said, it's slightly secretive. It's where you keep your own counsel, and it's where you're creating from the silence, and you're creating from self-trust, which I think is a real strong thing. This is a place where you can have lots of emotional honesty. So I think there's this kind of big review point coming in about how you organize your life, and is your life dictating to you what you do, or are you in the driver's seat? Because I think this new moon that's occurring on the 20th is about you taking back control of your life. I know it sounds nuts because, we should all be in control of our lives, but often we find we're not. There are other things that kind of come in and knock us off balance. And so between the 17th and the 20th, it really wouldn't surprise me if you're becoming really aware of the noise, becoming really aware of where things are messy and where things don't make sense. And then getting ready to kind of really shed skins. One of my members was talking to me about the fact that we're in the Chinese sign of the snake at the moment, and was asking, he doesn't want to go. He really wants to be on stage. Right. Can you leave me alone, please? He's so cheeky. Yes. So shedding skin, I really think that this is about getting very instinctive, and anywhere where you're seeing a distortion in how you're organizing your life, this is the time to really shed it. This is a time when you're going to make a decision. And the new moon is obviously a time when we really start to sow a seed of a new future. We're starting to create a vision, like the new vision for us. So I think the 17th to 20th is a very deep, quiet and personal time. Now, I say it's deep and quiet and personal, but there's some amazing aspects going on at that time. We've got the sun, Mercury retrograde's already sort of in this. Venus is also coming into this, but we've got these series of trines to Jupiter and Saturn. This is really helping us to have a dream and an aim that is, I think, like magnificent. Jupiter is about our expansion. Saturn is about our like coming into form and coming into shape. This is where we can really take ourselves seriously. So whatever you're conjuring up for yourself right now, I think it's coming from a place of taking yourself seriously and from taking your evolution and your growth seriously too, which I think is amazing. Now, Venus is also in a trine to the North Node, really helping you to like tune in to your like destiny and the direction you're going into. And we've also got these oppositions to Uranus, which has just gone into your 11th house. Now, this is really awakening and reawakening your psychic energy. And Uranus was here from 2018 up until the 7th of July. And then you had a little bit of a break when he came into your first house to really kind of turn things upside down. But now he's just gone back into Taurus and he's going to be there for another 6 months. But, he is shaking the sun and the moon at the time of the new moon. And he's already shaking, Mercury. I've done a separate video about Uranus and Mercury and their oppositions because they're very intense, over like I think 6 weeks or so. So it's pretty important. And you've also, at the end of this week, you've got Venus also in an opposition. So it's like your 3 most personal planets and also the moon. So you've got the moon about your feelings, Venus about how you're relating to people, Mercury about your thoughts, and your authoring, like, what stories are you creating for yourself? And also the sun, which is about how you express yourself. And all of that is being really shaken. It's like you're really wanting to shake yourself free. And this isn't to create chaos for you. This is about to get you back into alignment. So I just think this is great. As we're coming into the sun in Sagittarius on the 22nd, just before then, we've actually got the moon going into the sign of Capricorn. And, when the moon comes into Capricorn, I think you're going to be feeling a lot more seriously about all shared assets with you and your partner, all sort of ancestral things that can come up and bite you in the backside. Any old outstanding issues going on about your family, I think, are going to come to the fore. And that's kind of right, really. If you're setting up a new idea about how your life is going to move forward, it is going to have a knock-on effect with the people around you, the people you're related to. So there may be a little bit of a stirring. You might find yourself going into conversations with them. And on the same day, the sun is also going into the sign of Sagittarius. When the sun comes into Sagittarius, you're going to have the sun and Mars in your 7th house. And there's going to be a lot of warmth, a lot of heat coming into your relationships. And so you might find that you're starting to have a bit more fun. You might have a bit more openness, a bit more readiness to kind of goof off, and have fun and be a bit wild and a bit crazy with the people that you love. So I think this is interesting. I think you're about to set yourself a much more fun life with a much more fun pace. And consequently, you're going to go into a time where there's a new sense of vision, direction, future. Sagittarius here is really wanting to sort of like bring you up and out of the serious thoughts. My final comments then, I think, are really around this Neptune and Uranus sextile, because Neptune is about the vision that you have in your life and your sense of spiritual connection. And, right now it's expressing itself through the idea of your career. And, Uranus is in the 12th house, which is very much about rebellion and revelation and channeling, and is in your 12th house. I think the two of them working together I think you're going to be, with your new stories about yourself and also any newfound freedom that you're creating for yourself, it's going to inspire you to create something much more dynamic in the world, maybe, in terms of your career, but the need to do something that is going to create a sense of spiritual change, I think, is really strong. And so, yes, the sun is coming into Sagittarius, and you might be having a lot more fun with the people around you, but at the same time, I think it's not just about fun. I really think in your connection with other people, it's going to be generating new ideas that you'd like to create in the world. The ideas of need, like what does the world need? What might protect the people I love? What might inspire the people I love? What kind of world do we all want to live in? So I think it's really driven from that sense of love that's coming up. So I'm going to leave that there. I hope that's helpful for you. And if you would like me to apply that kind of scrutiny to your own chart, in particular for the year ahead, then just check out the links below. I'm getting ready to start doing 2026 readings, private readings and consultations for people. So just get in touch. So thanks for watching, and I hope this is helpful in navigating the week ahead. Have a fabulous new moon, and catch you next time. Bye for now.